Hi everybody, I am Natalie and this is As the Pennies Drop, and I'm going to be sharing with you today another incredible success story with some 3 powerful techniques that you can use if you are also looking to get that spark and the passion back into your relationship. And that is what I'm going to be talking to you about today. So before I go into that, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, because that notifies you when I'm posting. And also, please give this a thumbs up if you like this video, and also share it if you know that there are some people out there that could benefit from it. So I received the feedback from my client that everything in his relationship wasn't just as good as he remembered it, but better. And I'm going to talk you through using his email to me, and then share with you the techniques as well. So I'm so excited to share this because this feels like success week. Loads and loads of successes with clients this week. So this is really, really cool. And the sun's shining too. So it's always good. Okay, so this is his success story. And like I said, then I'm going to talk to you about how we got this back, how we got his passion and his spark back. So, dear Natalie, I'm so excited to be writing this letter to you. I've dreamt of this day. I cannot thank you enough for all of your guidance and your kindness in helping me turn my relationship around. As you know, my 5-year relationship had been up and down for years, and I was losing the will to live. I was literally about to give up when I got in contact with you. So this is a male client. As you know, my partner had stopped prioritizing me and stopped changing plans for us to be able to spend any quality time together. We were seeing each other less and less, and I felt so incredibly lonely. He became really quite selfish, to the extent that he would plan all of his weekends around what he wanted to do, always without giving me any little time together. We are living together, and you would think that would mean we spent a lot of time together, but it didn't. And going through lockdown has been really, really hard. We got to the stage where we were barely speaking to each other. And when he did speak to me, it wasn't very kind. I really didn't know what I could do to change things, because I had tried speaking to him, but it just got worse. However, all of that said, with your incredible insights, your guidance, and those incredible techniques, I'm so happy to say we have our spark back and our passion. And he tells me he loves me nearly every day. We are both so much happier than we have ever been, and so much happier than I recall. I love it. We plan our weekends so they are balanced now. So we have a lot of together time and time to do things separately. We communicate more lovingly than I can ever remember. And it literally feels like we've just met. I feel so excited, and I get butterflies in my stomach when I think about what I have now. So thank you. And I feel so excited about our future again. So thank you so much for everything that you have done, and you've given me my dream person back. Thank you. How incredible is that? I love that. That is just, he's such a lovely, lovely person to work with. And he literally came to me when he was literally, it was like, I don't know what else to do. This is kind of like last resort. And yeah, just absolutely incredible person. And he worked diligently. That's something that is really important. So if you're looking to get the spark and the passion back in your life, in your love life, with your relationships, you know, he worked diligently. He wasn't prepared to give up. He wasn't done. He just didn't know what else to do. And he was so sad when he came to me. So this is just like, yes, he did it. I love it. So I'm going to go through the steps of what we actually did to get him to that place where his relationship wasn't just the same as he remembered when it was good, but better. and like they'd first started dating again. So it was incredible. So what did we do? So this is where you need to get your pen and paper. So either press pause or get a pen and paper. And I'm going to talk you through what we did. So here we go. So the first thing we did was we wrote down what was showing up in the relationship that my client didn't like or wanted to change. So for him, it was he didn't like the feeling of feeling ignored. He wasn't prioritized. He didn't like the arguments. He didn't like the lack of quality time, the lack of affection, and the inconsistent behaviors. He kind of never knew where he stood, so we didn't like that. So we've now got an understanding of what we don't want. So now we know what we don't want. We now want to work on what the best outcome would be. What would the most incredible relationship and transformative things that he would want to see? What would that look like? What would the best outcome be? So when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. So you literally want the opposite of what he doesn't want. So for him, it was he wanted to feel a part of something again. He wanted to be seen and heard. He wanted to be prioritized. And we deep dived into that as well, because, you know, prioritize is quite a generalistic term. So what does that actually mean? So if you're looking to feel prioritized, what does that mean to you? So for me, being prioritized would be somebody putting me first when it came to giving me some quality time. So for me, being prioritized would be, you know, my partner wanting to go on loads of different holidays, but he prioritizes our holidays, and then they would become secondary. So that's mine. So you need to, with prioritization, think about what that actually means to you, and you can be really specific. So he wanted to be prioritized. He wanted there to be more kindness, more love and kindness. There was a lot of arguments. So he wanted the opposite of that. He wanted to be able to communicate, to be heard, to be seen, and with kindness. And obviously he wanted that quality time. You know, he loved spending time with his partner. So he just wanted to have, you know, more of a balance in that relationship. So he just, you know, he didn't want to hog all of his partner's time, but he wanted to have some of it. So he felt, yeah, they had time to kind of work, you know, to be together. Yeah, so with all of the things I've just said, that would bring in consistent behaviors. And also he wanted more affection. The affection had dropped off a lot, so he wanted to have more affection. And again, you can be specific about what you want when it comes to affection too. So we now know what he did. We know what he didn't want, and we now know what he wants. So it's the opposite of what he didn't want. So then we moved into, now we've got that kind of fundamentals, so that knowledge, we moved into using 3 steps, so 3 techniques. So we looked at visualized scenarios of the best outcome. We worked on inner conversations. So what were we saying when we were thinking of speaking to the partner? What were the words? What were we arguing? Were we being kind? Were we talking about things that we wanted, or were we talking about things that we didn't want to show up? And then finally, we wrote down daily intentions related to what he wanted. So I'm just going to break that down and give you some examples. So looking at the visualization and the scenarios that we use. So when he was sat in a quiet space, when his partner wasn't around, he'd go outside and just sit outside, you know, with his eyes closed. He would create a scene in his mind of both of them. And his scene was at the breakfast table, and they were sat there eating their breakfast, talking about the day ahead, and then they were talking about the weekend. And, you know, and he heard his partner say, you know, I'd really like to spend some time with you this weekend. I feel like I haven't seen you. I think we need to get more balanced time together. I really miss you. I'd really like for us to go for a walk. What do you think? And then maybe we can follow that on with, you know, cooking. a lovely meal together with some wine and, snuggling on the sofa and watching a film or something, and then they created so within that visualization, within that scenario, using his imagination, he's creating a lovely, kind communication between the two of them, where he was feeling wanted, where he was feeling prioritized, where he was getting the quality time, where there was consistent behaviors, where there was kindness and affection coming out in the tone as well. He would create that scenario. Then he would also then go in to create the scenario in his mind of what it actually felt like and looked like to be on that walk with his partner. So then he'd be, they'd be walking. What were they doing? They'd be hand in hand, laughing and joking and, cuddling and maybe kissing. And when they got back, there'd be, someone would be pouring the glasses of wine, and someone would be chopping the onions while the other one's stirring the pan, and they're talking and they've got music in the background, and just having a really, really good time. And then he would visualize themselves after the end of the meal. They'd be on the sofa, snuggled up with their wine, watching a film, and kissing and cuddling. And he would visualize what he wanted to show up, and he did this diligently, consistently. These were just two visualization examples that he gave me that he did, and I gave him a few others that he could do as well. And by doing that, he started to believe that it was possible. He started to have hope. His body started to feel like it was already there. It was already his. So that's what happens when you do the visualization. You get into that feeling of it and that believing of it, and it tricks your mind into thinking you've already got it. And that's when things start to change and start to show up. So he would do that maybe once or twice a day, depending on how much time he had, but he did it diligently every day for a few weeks, diligently every day. And he would, like I said, he'd change the scenario around. So then we also looked at the inner conversations. So throughout this process, there were still times where his partner and him were kind of at loggerheads and things weren't still showing up, and he had to be really focus and get back on his game again, and get back to the visualization, and and especially when it came to the inner conversation, what was he saying to his partner in his head? We all have those scenarios where we're talking to the partner and they're talking to us back. Is it a loving, kind thing that he was saying or not? So we worked on, what did he want to hear his partner say? What type of conversation did he want to hear? Did he want to hear his partner say, I don't have time for you this weekend? Or did he want to have a conversation in his head of his partner saying, I miss you, I love you, and I want to spend loads of time with you, and I feel like we don't see each other that much, even though we live together, and I'd love to spend this weekend with you. I'd love to, go on a cycle ride with you. I'd love to go on a walk with you. I love you so much, and I can't wait for lockdown to be over and we can start planning our future together. That type of thing. So what is it that you're thinking about? Are you thinking about the things that you want, or are you thinking about the things that you don't want? Because the more you think about the things that you don't want, the more you have the conversation in your head, or the arguments in your head about the things that you don't want to show up. They're going to be the things that consistently continue to show up. So you want to change that inner conversation too, to think about, having loving, kind thoughts, like daydreaming about what your partner's going to say to you, or the affection that you want from your partner. All those things get you into that better feeling place. And like I said, the more you do this, the more you're literally tricking your mind to believe that you've already got it. And once you do that and it starts to feel more natural, that's when things start to change. But you have to be diligent through the process, because it doesn't change overnight. Okay. The final step was basically doing morning affirmations and intentions. I've spoken about affirmations a lot. I spoke about that a lot in my last client success video. So you can check that out, how she found her love. It's really important that when we are looking to attract things that we want, that we believe that we're worth it, and understanding what our self-talk is. So these are the intentions and affirmations that he would say to himself every day. This is, I'd get him to mix it up a bit, but these are just some of them that he would say. So he would say, I am love, therefore love reflects back at me. I intend for my specific person to tell me he loves me. I am prioritized. I intend for my my specific person to prioritize me. And you can be more specific here, like I've said, when it comes to prioritization. You can go into more detail about that. I am always considered. I intend for my specific person to spend quality time with me at the weekends. I intend for my specific person to love spending time with me, to do fun things. I am always respected, and I intend for my specific person to always speak to me lovingly and kindly. I intend for my specific person to start to plan more of a future for us together after lockdown. I intend for my specific person to start thinking more about my feelings. I intend for my specific person to always show a lot of affection and love towards me, to shower me with love and affection. I am always showered with love and affection. So those were the types of affirmations. We mixed it up with affirmations and intentions because he was also doing the visualizations as well. And I wanted to make sure that he did all of them just to create more of a powerful and quicker response. To get the outcome that he wants. So those basically were the things that we did. So with all of these techniques, we covered all of the things that he didn't want, and so we literally looked at all of the things that he didn't want, recreated what he did want through the intentions, through the inner conversations, and through the visualization scenarios as well. So that is how he got the spark and the passion back. By changing his thought process, he attracted what he wanted and more from his partner. So that is how you get your passion and spark back. Now, give that a go. So if you are struggling in your relationship at the moment, whether it's just through lockdown or it's been a bit rocky over the last couple of years, and you just want to get that back to what you used to have, then give these techniques a go. If you are still struggling, then I'm here for one-to-one coaching. And in March, I'm actually doing 50% discount. So you will save 50% through any coaching with me in March. So like I said, these techniques do work. They're really powerful. Persist in them. No matter what's showing up in your reality, choose to ignore that and just persist in what it is that you are trying to achieve, that you want to achieve for the outcome. And it will happen. As always, please comment below, and I look forward to hearing your stories and your thoughts about this. And I do have a few more success stories coming up. It feels like I've held them all back. So check out my next video. It's going to be another success story, and I will see you soon. Bye.